since I'm by myself, you know, when you set out to do something, you don't basically question it. You just do it. That's literally the whole meaning of no excuses. Move. Because, I've heard it from a couple people, and it's funny that a lot more, probably better things are said when I'm off camera and stuff than when I'm on camera. It's like all the words, just like, no, don't want to give it to the video, to the live, to help so many people. I just kind of forget about it once I get online, and I just tell it when there's nothing to write it down, there's nothing to record it, there's nothing to just spews out. But the whole point of no excuses, move, is that there's no investment return that you see. That's the reason why it doesn't say no excuses, move, and then you're gonna go and you're gonna conquer the world, and then you're gonna get it, like you're gonna move, and then you're gonna achieve everything. That's not what it says. It doesn't say move and you're gonna not have trials and tribulations and struggles. That's not what it says. It's not what it's saying. It says no excuses, move. Because the move is from your full heart going out there and not expecting what's next. That's the reason why, but the no excuses, once you get to that point and you realize there's no excuses why not to move, there's that semicolon right after it. Because that's the moment where you can't do nothing after. If that decision's made, you can't go back. And that's the reason why it's suicide prevention, because that's not the solution. Your solution is to keep doing good, no matter what it looks like, and not worrying about the return back to you. The return will come. You just don't need to think about it. You just act in good, full intentions, full heart. That's the point of it. Man, I was just talking to myself, and all the stuff that I was saying, I was like, whoa, man, this is good stuff, man. I gotta write this down, but I don't remember it right off the top of my head. But that was one that I realized, oh yeah, I better actually get online and say something like that. Is that, yeah, explaining no excuses move is that, when you do things half-heartedly and then you start worrying about everything that you're going to get, you start getting a lot less than you inquired. You start, overthinking it, and then things aren't turning out the way you are, and then you start throwing, doubt, all these thoughts start going in your head. And then that's the reason why it says in the scriptures, take captive those thoughts, because that's not who you are. You are good. You are life-giving, like everything that you're looking for on the outside is already in you. It's already there. And it's that simple. Like, there's nothing out there that you're going to get. You're going to get, if you continue thinking that, putting out their investments and then focusing on the investment or all the returns of what you're going to get to the end, you're going to have everything. Probably family, businesses, all the money. You could buy anything, you do whatever you want, and you're going to still feel empty. You're going to still feel alone. And the only way you're not is when you get to know who Jesus is. And you know who he is in your heart. Because he's not in a building that says, that people go to on Sundays. That's not where he can be found there, because he said, when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am. But those are just buildings. God, after Jesus fulfilled what he did, he was telling us about the temple. And the temple is our bodies. And it's our spirit. We invite him into this home. And this is a part of the body of Christ. Anyone who says, invites Jesus into their life, that is the moment that they become a child of God. Because, a house divided against itself cannot stand. So you're either serving one God, that God said, I am the only one. Jesus said he's the only one, or the only way, the truth, and the life. No one can get to the Father except through him. Every other religion, all that stuff, is said, well, I'm not the way, there's someone else, and this and that. And I mean, you can go research it all you want. It's out there. I'm not going to tell you anything new. There's nothing new. Everything's been done before. But once you accept Jesus into your life, he covers you. He covered you with the blood of him, his sacrifice. It's so simple, but it takes a lifetime of a relationship to understand it. And that's the reason why you have to read his word. There's nothing anybody in this world's going to ever tell you that's going to, that's the answer. No. The answer's here and in here. It's already given to you. Like, the reason why I'm starting I'm doing my providing mentorship is not because, I've started all these businesses, I did all these great things and stuff. No, I'm doing it because I've heard that expression, there's everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. Because everybody sees a problem, they think somebody's going to do it because anybody can, but nobody does. That's the whole point of No Excuses Move, is because anybody that's bringing a problem to the table, the answer can be solved from that person, Go do it, Like, you don't have to cover the whole thing. Just like you don't build a whole city by yourself. You don't do a whole family by yourself. It takes all of it combined. So I am doing whatever is good. I'm not doing bad things. I'm doing good. And along the way, I'm a human. I adjust and I correct myself. I learn to control more of my thoughts, and that's the reason why I posted about, don't block people and don't unfriend people off Facebook and your phone. I don't know. I guess your phone. Just because they're your immediate contacts, but off your Facebook and stuff like that. It's built to be a network to connect with people. And the way I do it, a lot of you guys have become my friends because I threw out a friend request. Because why not? If I'm posting something that, just like I have, I've seen all sorts of content out there that, of course I don't fully agree with the person because, they're on their own journey. They're figuring out life themselves. But yeah, me neither. But it's not how. I don't need to go to their example of life. Just like I don't need anybody to follow me. I'm not the answer. I don't want people to follow me. I just want to give good, and then as people see themselves the good that's in whatever's being done, as God's showing them what is good. And then it's just to encourage the next person. Like I've watched plenty of movies, like We Bought a Zoo. And one of my main things is, why not? That's a great analogy. Well, why not? If it's good, why not? Why not do it? And that's the whole point of why we're friends on Facebook. And yeah, that's how you seen me on your page, is that you're meant to hear this, Whatever's good will continue. And so I am choosing to unfollow the things that are not good and that don't bring fruit into my heart and my life. So the more I see that is not good, not of God, I just unfollow it. I don't need to unfriend it and all that stuff. If I'm not, more engaging with it, that's the reason why it says, when Jesus sat with the sinners, he didn't sin with them. I unfollow it, don't see it, keep following more that's good and going after good and then doing good. That's the reason why I created this meaningless walk, is because I want people to, just move. Just move. No excuses, move. And one of the things in the Bible it says is, pity a man that is by himself, for he has nobody to help him or lift him up. But I mean, that's not like, talking right now, because I have plenty of people who encourage me and lift me up spiritually. Definitely give a shout out to my fiance Taylor at Electric Storm Gallery. If you get a chance, go check it out. Jackie Diggins in Miles City. She has a coaching program. If you are interested, check her out, Jackie Diggins. Actually, I got my card right here. And this is the other part of it, is, let's see, is that backwards? Oh yeah, you guys probably can't see it. Well, she's an author of Covenant Life Coach and a speaker. I don't know if you guys can read that backwards here. Let me see. Let me flip this around for you. So Jackie Diggins, mom of 10. Like, that's an extraordinary thing. I just wanted to show you guys that. And then Distorted Temple with Alvis Dallas. And Dakota. Can't remember. Sorry, Dakota, I don't know your last name. But each one of them are doing good. And so they're part of my my spiritual growth. They help encourage me and strengthen me and sharpen me. And so, yeah, oh yeah, exactly. We all have. There's not, even at, my speaking, or when I was speaking at the motivation night the other night, yeah, there's definitely things that I've said that possibly mislead people, and we make mistakes. You don't sit in the past. There's not, we are only in now. Like when I did the video about doing the walk, that was then. This is right now. There's nothing I'm changing about that. There's nothing I'm going back. I can't correct it. There's nothing. Right now is what matters. That's where our power is. That's where we have the power to move and move out of bad, negative situations. As you're scrolling on your Facebook and you see something that's just, you just know it's wrong. It's like, a part of you might find it somewhat funny or just like, oh man, that's stupid, Just unfollow it right there, because there's no reason to even waste your time on it, because tomorrow is not promised. I've watched people, I just kind of don't want to give the situation just for consideration of the families, is that, I've watched people go at too young of an age. I've watched people go and they didn't know Jesus. And that's the reason why, Jesus cried and wept when he did, is because it's like, man, I wish you guys understood and knew what I know, and it's not that you have to conquer the whole world and know it. No, life is so simple, and it's just do out of your full heart and quit expecting everything to come back to you. Just know it's out there. Like, we're all a servant of something, be a servant to God, to Jesus of good. He's the only one that is going to look at you no matter how bad you screw up and say, don't worry about it. I already covered it. Now, go out and don't do it again, And of course, it says the righteous man falls 7 times, but gets up 8. Meaning, like, every time you get up. The reason why I'm doing my mentorship as I was going is that I am the least of anybody to ever go and talk to anybody. Like, I'm the least person to be fit sitting and, saying anything, getting on here or anything. I don't have children. I don't own a business. Never made a bit, like a big successful business. I've never had anything that, like, people hold so sacred, to be able to seem like I can say advice. But life is simple. A business is built off of relationships. You are going out and doing a service for somebody. You're building a house, you're building it for somebody else, you know, you're putting on a roof, you're doing the windows, you know. Do you go out there and just slap it together with a couple of duct tape? Yeah, man, you'll be all right, whatever. No, you go out there and you set out to do good. You set out there to be like, okay, I want to build this roof so that it doesn't leak and that they don't come back to me, you know, complaining. You want to do it the best you can. Because why would you set out to not do something good? And, you know, that's what doesn't make sense. You know, and we all do dingy things where we're like, you know, of course, thinking about that, I don't understand why I did that. That's just silly. You know what I mean? And be like, well, I'm not even going to, you know, I'm not going to give that too much more thought. You say, what can I do now? What can I move in right now? And then that's where, you know, the trials come in, is that the more that you learn to grow in Him and learn who you are through reading His Word, you know, not from going to all these, you know, places that we think He is. You know, you sit and you talk to Him, and then you go out there and you embrace the trials that are going to come to you, all the thoughts that are going to try and tear you down, distract you, confuse you, twist you, take you all sorts of different ways. You're just going to keep going straight. He said, narrow is the path that leads to heaven. Narrow. It's not a bunch of winding roads, it's narrow. So get on that path and just keep moving and adjusting yourself. You know, any thought that, you know, of doing evil or, you know, doing someone wrong or something like that. No, I'm going to bless these people. I'm going to speak good. That's the reason why I shout out to my friends who do things. And yeah, Pius, I really appreciate you. You're a heaven sent. And I'm so blessed to hear how God worked in your life and brought you away from that. And it shows in your testimony. You know, you can. I've seen. Well, I mean, we've all seen it. We've all seen the evil either within us or just out in the world that we're just like, man, that like you get sorrowful as you grow closer with God about how it's like, man, I can't wait for you to get it. I can't wait for you to find that peace, you know, and it's exciting. It doesn't matter if you're young or you're old. Of course, we all wish that we learned it day one when we were a kid, that we just, you know, we took on the strength that's already in us, you know, and then we put on those, what is it? I think the boots of righteousness, you know, picked up the sword of truth and, you know, the shield and just the whole armor. And we would have just started walking with it. That's, you know, it's that simple, but that's where, you know, the providing mentorship comes, is that, you know, we're here to encourage each other. That's what my whole brand No Excuses move is. And it's not like this where I'm not helping anybody up. I'm not above anybody. I'm in the same boat dealing with the same thing you are. I'm dealing with lying, cheating, stealing, and every other thing that is not of God too. We're all dealing with it. And I'm here to strengthen and encourage you. And God says, if a man, it says, if someone asks you to run a mile, you go 2. Is because you don't think about what's at the end of it. You know, you just keep going. And then that encourages that person to push forward. You know, when I was coaching little guy football, I'm a fan of sportsmanship. You know, it's important to remind yourself and take away the pride. When you get that glory, you know, give it to God. Don't think, oh, I'm going to be the best one, or I'm going to be like somebody of this world. Don't set your limitations so low. Don't put God in a box. You are great, because all you are is in now. And so I'm hoping that, well, I mean, I don't even hope. That's again where you got to correct yourself. I don't need to worry about the investment of this. I don't need to worry about the return. I don't need to worry about how it's received to people, how it's doing all that. That's the greatest thing about doing this mentorship and finally giving it all to God, because that's the best job to work with, or that's the best CEO of all of it, you know? Because when you do, God speaks to every single person afterwards. He like on a business, you know. I go out there, basically I door knock. You know, people, whoever God brings and leads, you know, I'm just like, hey, my name, you know, is this, and, you know, like, you know, just the basic introduction and stuff, and then after I'm done, God does the follow-up. He reveals, and especially as we, you know, whoever goes behind closed doors and prays about it, and, you know, or, you know, it's not just about closed doors, it's like wherever you stand, you know, just don't go out into like the public. I guess the reason why I usually don't like to get on live is because I don't like to seem like I'm out there on the corner, praise, you know, just boasting about, you know, like pride in it. No, I'm just here to strengthen and encourage those, is that God answers all your prayers. I'm 29 years old, or turning 29 this month. God does things throughout your life, and it's taken me this long to see it. I've had my friend Jackie, she told me where God, and my buddy Eric, they all told me, they're like, your name's written in the Bible. And I'm like, huh? And so they're like, yeah. And then like they told me exactly who I am. They showed me. And I was like, I didn't get it. Jesus came down and he spoke to everybody. And he's like, I mean, and even his words fell on deaf ears. And so, I'll exit out. Kind of spaced out. Oh yeah, where I didn't get it years ago when I was told that. I did not get it, but I didn't give up. That's the point. At the end of that no excuses, since you guys are reversed, at the end of no excuses, there's that semicolon. I didn't give up. And that's in you too. There's nothing in the world that you can't take authority over and cast it away that isn't of God. You have already been placed with that authority to move, to act, to take authority of that. And so since I, you know, like anybody, you know, like we're all in the same boat dealing with the same thing, see the faults in me, or no, don't see like the fault. I mean, what the heck is it? Understand that sometimes we don't get it off the bat. We don't get it, but don't give up. Keep moving, because it will be revealed. And that's even with all your crooked acts. You know, everything that you do behind everything you sow, you reap. You're doing wicked, you're thinking wicked thoughts, you're gossiping, you're doing anything behind closed doors. Everything in the darkness will be revealed in the light. So do you want to go out there and continue to serve something that, like, you're doing all these wicked things, you're causing more destruction in this beautiful community anywhere you are? Or is that what you want? Because if you don't want, like, if you want, you know, your family to have food, your community to have, you know, good in it, you know, for people to help out, to do like anything of good, instead of all these. I just seen a machete. I just read about that earlier today, that there was an accident, you know, something happened down in North Park, and it's like, is that what you want to give? You know? Because I mean, it reaps itself, you know, like it reaps hurt across the community. And, you know, I don't know anything about it. I just read about it. And it's like, man, that's absolutely horrible. You know, it has no personal relationship to me, except for the fact that it's like, man, I wish that person would have just, of course, you know, we all wish, you know, upon things, but it's like, you know what? Well, let me speak life. Let me get on this video and let me speak life to the moment things are negative or good in your thought. Take captive them. Toss aside the and discard all the negative and go forth in the move of the good. Go do it. Don't expect anyone else to do it. No, don't expect anybody else to post good content. Don't expect anybody else to go out and help somebody. Go do it. And it's not like you got, like I said, you don't have to go and cover the whole thing. You don't have to build the whole community by yourself. There's, the body of Christ. There's many hands. Many hands make light work. That's basically the simple, form of it, is that we're all here strengthen and encourage each other. And I'm getting on this video to be able to give that encouragement that Billings, just because there's bad content putting out there, and I mean, like, not just content, there's bad, evil things happening. That's what this whole world is. That's what it is it's not. I'm trying to think of how to properly say this. I'm trying to think. Because I don't want to, anyways, you're going to find good in the world, but because God is in the world. But it's like, that's not who this community is. It's not going down the drain. People aren't all bad, it's not all the things that are posted that cause worry. That's not what this is. Just like every fault that you've ever done, that's not who you are. You've done them, but that don't mean that you ain't forgiven from them. And then as soon as you forgive yourself and start, that's where No Excuses Move is based off of, is on yourself and changing yourself. You can't change this world. You do good, and don't worry about what's going to come from it, because it'll whatever comes. And you just you till the land, you plant the seed, you water it, you prune it, you gather it up and harvest. You're going to be a part of all that, all different parts in people's spiritual growth. That's what we're here for. It's a spiritual journey. It's a physical one. I mean, you feel it, but it's all a spiritual journey, is because all that matters to us is now. We can't control the future, and we can't change the past. We just do what is now. So I encourage you, no excuses, move. I don't want to babble on or anything like that. I want to end it with that. No excuses, move. I have my mentorship program if you're interested, and if you know anybody, I work with anybody and everybody, because life is very simple. We're all children at once, and we're all basically children still. It's basically like high school outside of high school. Everyone still gossips. Everyone still lies, cheats, steals, all that stuff. Just be the good in it. Pull that out of you. And so that's the reason why it's like I don't have all the successes. That's the reason why it's like I'm the least to ever be in how the world sees it of a mentorship. I'm just here to remind you of how simple and how the least of things is where God uses it for His greatness. And I don't know if you guys seen that 2 Corinthians 12, I believe it's 5 through 10. Read that. It shows you we're all in our weaknesses. God is strong. He uses it because that's the least way people expect. Everything in the Bible and the Old Testament shows how God uses the least way that we would expect it. They expected Jesus to come and be the king and like all fancy and wearing all the greatest gear and doing all the greatest things, owning armies and this and that. But they didn't realize is the king he is. They didn't expect him to come from a manger, from the smallest place, from a place that children usually aren't ever born. Nobody expects the least. That's the reason why it's like, root for the underdog, because I guarantee God's working miraculous things. It may not be seen right off the bat, but God is always at work, and He's using every single one of us that brings up God's glory. He cuts off the pride, all the prideful, and that's in my journey, that's always going to be a test, and always a sharpening point where it's like, I don't need to hear from everybody else. I got to know it within myself and control my thoughts and control my actions about what I do. And God will make things perfect. He knows all my faults. He knows everything. He knows every thought behind closed doors. He knows everything. And He's going to show it, His glory through all of it. And so again, if anyone's interested in the mentorship or anything, reach out to me. It's all ages, all backgrounds, because there's not any of us that can't benefit from encouragement, and then just a reminder of how simple things are, and then how great God is. And each person's journey is different. Everybody's gift is different. And so I just encourage everybody through No Excuses Move, through my portion of it, as you are No Excuses Move, God has His path and His glory that He's going to shine through you. And I just encourage you that anybody that is interested and felt drawn to it, that it is an option, it is available, and it's amazing. God, I can't even limit it by saying God is so good. God is. Because there's not a box to put Him in. There's nothing. But I just appreciate you guys all watching. Share with a friend. I love connecting with anybody and everybody, and encouraging everybody. So go out there and keep building your relationship with God, and No Excuses Move. Thank you for watching. You guys have a great one. All right, okay.